And he's back.
Interesting. Is it any better?
It is better.
Good.
I still feel like you're a little soft.
Well, I mean, that's just how my daddy raised me.
A boy named Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have been a Martha.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's still time.
Oh, a little warm.
Steamy. It's so steamy. Oh my gosh. I think it's our banter. I think our banter is just
I think you're
muy caliente.
I think you're
believe
absolutely
is the
right.
term.
I think you're absolutely right. So anyways, do we know what we're talking about?
Oh, speaking of hot, speaking of it being hot and
you're
steamy,
interrupt me
right?
now.
Can you imagine what it would be like? Imagine it's hot and steamy and you're in your kitchen, right? And it's just you and your wife, and you're just trying to read your newspaper, right? You're not hurting anybody. You're just trying to read your newspaper. And she just starts going on and on, right, about how hot it is. And, you know, she's like with the fridge, you know what I mean? And then, you know, trying to like cool herself on the fridge.
Could you imagine? I can't imagine. You know,
what would you do? I mean, what if you found yourself in that circumstance? Like, what would you do?
I mean, I know one thing that I would not do. I would not be calling Sears. It doesn't exist anymore.
That's terribly specific, Matt.
I know. I wonder if that's foreshadowing. Is that maybe what's going on here? I gave it away. I gave it away. Oh no. What are we going to do?
No, don't worry, because Anthony Kiedis has already given it away a long time ago. So you can't give away what's already been given and also not yours.
That's true.
To give.
It's true. Well, in
so
any case,
should we just watch it?
Yeah. Why don't we?
Okay.
I think that's a good idea.
I cannot live another day without air conditioning.
Says tomorrow's gonna be hotter.
Hotter?
Like yesterday.
Yesterday? Yesterday you said you'd call Sears.
I'll call today.
You call now.
I'll call now.
Now's the best time to save big on a Sears installed central air conditioner. Because right now you can get this special offer of 0% financing and no payments for 90 days available through a Sears credit account. So give Sears a call and we'll come by to give you a free in-home estimate on an energy-efficient Kenmore air conditioning system that's just right for your home. And if you can't wait to cool down, Sears also offers fast emergency installation. And of course, you'll always get our satisfaction guarantee, so Sears will be there to back your new system up. Don't forget, you'll get 0% financing and no payments for 90 days. So call today and save with Sears.
So what's the paper say about tomorrow?
Another scorcher.
Cool.
Well, congratulations.
And there we have it.
You found an ad. You found an ad that totally sucks. I mean, this ad sucks so hard. Yeah. It's a shame because at the end of the ad, they have that great line where she says, cool, you know, which of course is a double entendre, of course, right? But no one ever saw that because at the point at which they start talking, where they show the air conditioner and the announcer comes in, that's when everyone got up off the couch and went and like just started beating their head up against a wall, right? And then passed out. So no one ever actually saw the end of the commercial.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do.
And I think that basically ends this episode. I don't think there's anything else to say about that.
That's fine. If you want to end here, we can. So here's the thing. I think it's one of those ads where, okay, potentially what happened was they had a pretty good, a nugget of an idea. And, you know, maybe the way I would hope whoever sort of set out to write this ad, wrote it quite a bit differently, and then, well, no, we want this, like the executives, the board, or whoever, the powers that be, that, well, we want to, we really need to push these Kenmore units, right? Or we really need to push, buying now, and the 90-day no payments with a credit card. They give you a ton of information in this ad, and it's this sort of like syndrome that I see all the time. People want the ad to do everything possible, right? They want it to literally get people in the door or on the phone. In this case, they want them to understand already that they can finance this with no payments for 90 days with a Sears credit account, that it's a Kenmore unit that they're going to install, and that they can be installed in an emergency, right? It's like, I mean, talk about hyperbole, right? Like, because people didn't exist without central air for, thousands and thousands of years, right? Like, so now it's an emergency. I think the scenario is cheesy, right? The acting is a little cheesy. That actress, she's somebody. I don't know who. I actually didn't end up looking it up.
Oh, is she?
But I want to say that
everybody's somebody.
Well, yes, that's true. She's somebody that I recognize from something else. And I believe,
how's that phrase go? You're nobody till somebody casts you in a Sears AC ad.
Exactly. But I want, this is weird that I maybe know this, but I think she was in Spin City. Remember the Michael J. Fox show, and then eventually Charlie Sheen?
Oh, yes.
I think
I don't remember her, but I remember that. Wow.
I think she was in that. I'm gonna have to look it up after.
Was that the one where he's the mayor? He's the mayor of something, right?
He's like the mayor's, like.
No, he's the mayor's like PR person.
Yeah, like right-hand man.
Chief of staff.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Chief of staff. Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually a pretty good show. Somewhat underrated.
It wasn't bad.
Yes, me. I'm also into probably not so great sitcoms, so.
I could see that.
Big fan,
Huge fan.
Drink my light beer, and I watch my crappy sitcoms, and I get all riled up and, laughing at cheesy jokes. And I mean, my favorite thing about most cheesy sitcoms is, and here I go off on a tangent, but is that they tell you with the laugh track when you're supposed to laugh, when something has been funny. So I don't even have to think about it. I can just lay on my couch, drink my light beer, eat my potato chips, and, I don't have to do anything. I just turn my brain off. Wonderful. But I mean, this is not a great ad, I think it's...
You're being kind. You're being kind.
Yeah. But,
I mean, you guys, like, they turned it into a direct response ad, right? Like a product with a long product purchase cycle. They turned into a direct response ad, which is ballsy.
Yeah. And I mean, it very well could have worked on, a very small handful of people that were in that situation, right? I imagine that the return on their investment was not what they wanted out of it, right? Like, and that's where disappointment comes in, and then agencies get fired because they say, yes, we can do that, rather than saying, you shouldn't do that, here's why, Right. I saw a wonderful, like it was an agreement between, I forget what agency and what client, but it was basically that the agency wasn't going to, sort of tell the client how to do whatever it is that they do, and that the client was going to agree to not tell the agency what they, like how to create the ad, the campaign, all of that. And that, in turn, the agency would also not bring 3 ideas to the table to, to quote unquote, see what the client thinks, that they were going to bring their A game all the time. And the way it was written was just like super well done. I can't imagine very many clients going for this. I want to say it was like a long time ago, and probably also like Bernbach or an agency with just so much legacy that people trust them just on name alone, but
yeah,
I think
like Kenmore.
I think Sears and whoever came up with this ad could have used something like that, because to me, this just reeks of the client stepped all over it.
When you sent this to me, I was like, and then I was like, oh, wait, no, it sucks. And he knows it sucks. And that's why we're going to be watching it. I get it now. It did take me a second. I'm trying to find something in it. Like, what in this does he like and think is good about this? But I did find something. And it wasn't just the ending of it when it was no longer on. Though that certainly was a kindness. It was the part where he says, I'll call tomorrow.
Yeah.
And she says, you'll call now. And I was like, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That happens to me all the time. I'm reading my newspaper. I'm eating a bagel. I don't know, whatever the dude's doing. It looks like breakfasty time. Like, 'cause when is that couple in their kitchen with that kind of light and he's reading the paper, right? I'm thinking breakfast, right? This is breakfast. Maybe it's a Saturday. I don't know. And so he says, I'll call tomorrow, because it's totally what I would say. I was like, yeah, I will definitely do that thing. Not right now. And and here's the thing. I have no intentions of calling tomorrow. And that's exactly what that dude's saying. He's like, I'll call tomorrow, which means I'm not ever going to do this.
I'll get around to it.
Yes. And she's like, you'll call now. And I'm like, okay, no, that's real. That is real. So I felt like, that could have done something. Maybe that had some sort of effect.
And that's what I was saying. Is that, like, even though it's kind of like cheesy and the acting is kind of cheesy and not really all that realistic in my.
Well, what year was this aired?
If I had to just off the top of my head guess, I actually didn't bother looking it up. I would say 1994.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking like this is like early to mid 90s ish.
I remember this ad. From a kid, yes, I 100% remember this ad. Which, I mean, and it really was the "I'll call now" line, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Call tomorrow. I'll call now. I would have liked a little bit more of that, like a little bit more back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, okay, I get it. Like, he says, I'll call tomorrow. She says, you'll call now. And instead of him saying, I'll call now, he says, I'll call now.
And then she gets,
I'll call when I'm damn well ready to call. Susan. And then she's like, listen, Gary, you know what our therapist said, all right? This is the kind of shit that I've been talking about, right? Like that's like what I would do with it. But of course,
yeah, I mean,
I create the kind of ads that get you fired, right?
Yeah. I mean,
but no, so I don't remember the ad, but I think like, so if it was like mid 90s ish, like think about the situational comedies of the time, the shows that you would watch and the acting, and you look back now and you're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is excruciating to watch.
Yeah.
But back then you're like, hey, this is great, you know? So I feel like this probably didn't feel cheesy when it came out. It only feels cheesy now because it's like, because we as a culture are past that moment, you know? Just like I love, I use this as an example a lot. I'd love to buy the world a Coke.
Yeah. You do use that.
It's like, oh my gosh, but back then in singing harmony, like people were like, hell yes, that's exactly what this world needs. If everyone were just buy everybody a Coke and be on a grassy hill in like some song, long flowing dress right? With like Farrah Fawcett here, like, yes, the world would be a better place. Now we think that's complete garbage,
Right.
but back then it played, you know? So I think like this, to me, I have a feeling like this didn't feel cheesy, any cheesier than anything else at the time, I guess, is what I'm saying. I don't think this was probably standout cheesy at that point.
It's got a lot of, I mean, maybe a little bit of Full House vibe, Step by Step. I'm seeing in there Blossom, maybe.
Ooh,
you know, a little bit of that in there. But yeah, I can agree with that. Mostly because I don't really care to argue it. I think it was probably still a little cheesy back then, but yeah, less. I mean, now, and to your point, you are right. Television was just cheesier, right? We didn't have like these like dramas that were like super true to life, like The Wire, or you know, I don't know, you know, Soprano, whatever.
So right, so like, what if we were to reimagine this commercial in the vein of like Law and Order SVU? Like, what if, like, you know, like, what if that was like the vibe of this commercial?
Dick Wolf, we can't say that on television. Just that's a reference. 30 Rock.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Yeah, you should.
Not taking the bait on that one.
One last thing that this reminds me of a bit, or what it could have been, and I know that it's probably not a real ad, and I probably asked you this before. Are you familiar with Mad Men, the show?
I'm familiar with Mad Men.
Did you watch?
Yes.
Yeah, you watched. Well, are you familiar with Mad Men, or are you familiar with Mad Men?
Is there a difference other than the pronunciation?
I would say if you put the emphasis on the last syllable over there, right? Another reference. I would say you're talking about the men themselves, like actual men worked on Madison.
Mad Men.
Yeah. Anyways, this was a terrible digression, but
I am
in the show,
familiar. The point, regardless of where you emphasize, I'm familiar.
Okay, cool. In the like in the show, Peggy and Don are doing a Cool Whip ad, and she says, "Cool Whip." Another reference. We're just gonna get all those references in here. Cool Whip. Why are you saying it like that? Say cool. Say what? Cool Whip. Cool Whip. And so they're kind of like role playing how the ad's going to go. And she goes, you know, just try it. And they repeat it. That's what I would have liked to see from this, was getting that "I'll call now" repeated a few more times, and obviously cut out all of the direct response BS that's in there, or at least cut way the F down. And
you mean don't say all of those things 3 times,
right?
While looking at an air conditioning condenser up against a brick wall.
Yeah, right.
Like don't have a 60-second commercial where 40 seconds of it is repeating the same information over an entirely uninteresting visual.
Right. Correct. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
that's what I'm
got
saying.
it. Now I understand what you're saying. I get it now. CFO loved that part of that was the CFO.
Exactly.
I shouldn't say stuff like that. I
know, you're gonna get in trouble.
I know CFOs. I have friends that are CFOs. They're beautiful, wonderful people. They play important roles in organizations.
And it should not be a
But
creative role.
if anyone's going to ask for something like that, though, it's usually going to be like the CFO, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or someone like with an engineering degree.
Yes. 100%. Which is fine, right? Like they do things that are probably way, you know, or at least comparatively way more important to the business succeeding than necessarily the advertising. But the advertising,
for sure,
you know, needs to be done, and it needs to be good in order for it to work. And this is just really a situation where I'm sure.
So you would like
people
to
got
have
fired over it,
seen
and
them
it's not their fault.
say, "You'll call now." I'll call now. Yes, you'll call now. That's what I'm saying, Susan. I will call
You're
right
going
now.
back down this
Okay.
rabbit hole.
Are
All right,
you
yeah.
satisfied? Are you satisfied, Susan?
All right. Well, it's been another great episode of Erik and Matt Hate Ads. And thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
You were talking to me, right?
Only because
I'm the only one here, so it must have been.
yeah.
There was one part of the ad that didn't suck. Totally suck hard.
What's that?
For me, it was the part when it was over.